Hello, everyone. I'm here. I'm live. I'm sleeping because that's not the greatest start, I guess. But that's what we do when it goes night. There we go. We're back. We're back, and we're going to work on filling out this part that we didn't get to last time. We've already created that cliff border, and we're going to try and finish off this part of the mountain now, so that we can get some building happening into it. So let's just have a quick reminder of a quick remind ourselves what was going on here. Now we were going to have some nice flat, of course. We were going to have some nice flat areas, and there's a little something new. There we go. Makes it a little bit easier. We're going to have some nice flat areas to build, and we were going to have some step up points, almost like shelves in this part of the mountain. And there is a good reason for it, but I'm not going to give any of that information away because that's going to be in my next episode. So we'll just keep chipping away at filling in this area, I think, for now. There we go. Right. Now, the best part about this is that it can be completely and utterly random. Makes it a lot easier for me. Don't have to follow any specific patterns, designs, rules. I'm not good at following the rules, let's be honest. I think Tree Cow just said hello. Alright, I think maybe we might need to build ourselves the area that is actually going to make up our platforms. So we've decided that one's going to be there. One's obviously going to be down here. I want to make a water feature somewhere up here. So we're going to need to consider that when we are placing some of these blocks. How will the water fall? So that... Alright, this space might be a good space for us to start. Just spamming a few blocks. Get a good idea here of one of our flat shelves. Around here. That one, I think. Like that. Go, and then we have a cliff face here. So maybe we'll utilize this cliff face to be a bit of a waterfall, perhaps? Where are we? We're going to be over a forest right now. So we'll have some nice bright water there. That might be a good spot to have a bit of a waterfall going. So this cliff definitely make a good waterfall location. I think. Can't place the block, it would seem. Now. So that's our peak point that we're worrying about for right now. Gonna have the water drop down here. Yes, let's have the water drop down here. So we'll give it a bit of... I don't have a bucket. Nice. Would have been smart to actually have the water so that we could use that to give us an idea of how that water's going to fall, where that water's going to fall. But we'll treat that as the waterfall there. And then we'll just bring in some of this here. This. Go. and keep going on our shelf over here. What kind of building we will put here, I'm not sure. I don't think we're going to strictly do buildings. I'm going to do something a little bit more interesting, a bit more fantasy focused. So maybe we'll be putting some giant mushrooms and something that you might see as like a fairy garden, perhaps. Oh, sorry about dropping out on you there for a second. I had a phone call, which is, you know, never conducive to streaming, never what you want. But I'm back now. Let's keep talking about what this space is doing. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna go for a sort of a fantasy theme up here. Gonna have a look at some giant mushrooms. So maybe we'll put in some hanging trees off of the, and by hanging trees I don't mean like hanging down like a vine. I mean like they'll be jutting out from the side of a cliff face or something. So we might take a look at doing something along those lines. And I think we're generally just going to have a bit of a play with it up there, rather than because it's going to be a very largely organic build. We're not going to think too much about it. We're going to do a little bit more doing, a little bit less thinking when it comes to this part of the mountain. All right, so let's bring this out. I do want to be able to access some of this space without having to worry about the fact that it's a cliff. We do still want to be able to walk up. We don't want to have to find alternate means of getting up, so that might mean having more gradual slope. Let's do that. Let's work on this part here. Let's work on bringing a bit of a slope up here like this. So don't want it to be all single gaps. We want to have some little platforms, not necessarily all of a sudden just going up one. That gets a little boring visually. So having a bit of space here to play with means we can actually do something with the building area to work. That there. Stay a fairly severe kind of area, and that like that. Perfect. Okay. Hey Mel, how we doing? Good to see you. let's take a step back for a second. Now I think this is kind of the right sort of level here, but I also want to start bringing this area up a bit more. So we'll almost have a ridge point almost here. So just need to sleep the night away. You think you're getting a cold? That's not fun. My son has a cold. That's less fun than an adult having a cold. 2-year-old with a cold. Frustrated that their nose is running and that they can't breathe properly. And can't really explain why they feel so annoyed. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Need to write myself a reminder. I've got to make a phone call after I finish here. And knowing me, I'm probably going to forget. So need to remember to do that at some point next minute or two. Okay. How's that looking? That's good. So we're going to have one lower down area here, and then a lower down area over here, and then a cliff face up here where we're going to have a waterfall, and then we've got the building platform there, probably a building platform there. That'll be good. I think that'll be good. It should work. Let's see. It's good. So that'll do. The best part about doing something like the mountain organics and that organic build style is that really doesn't matter where you put the blocks, and if you put them somewhere that you don't end up being happy with, all you need to do is break it down and start again, or readjust it, not necessarily start again. God, could you imagine if I had to start this again? This is about the last thing that I would want to do, is start this build from scratch. No, thank you. Right, where are we headed? Okay, so I think we want to get, what we probably want to do here is we probably want to give this a bit more height back here. Where's the cliff? Come on, there we go. And sort of follow a bit of a path like that. There. Maybe here we'll just do a little bit of this this smaller framework sort of thing, so that we can use it to our advantage. Just fill in the gaps rather than having to try and work out exactly what we're doing in the small bit by bit in the moment. So does that make any sense? That probably doesn't make any sense. It makes sense in my brain. It's kind of like when you do an outline and then you fill it in with color later. It's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm doing a random sort of drawing. So as you can see there, we've got a mini version of the big frameworks that we've got up there, and now I'm going to fill that in so that it doesn't look or feel too awkward, unlike me, who sounds and feels very awkward because I'm still getting used to this whole, streaming thing. Alright, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's what I was saying about we'll have step ups. And this is sort of going to be like a shorter step up. And this here will be a larger step up point. This here, because we don't want too many points where it's just one block between the next level. Bring that up here. It's going here. And yeah, that's pretty good little area. Now this is going to get a whole lot better when we start adding some greens and browns and whites and reds and yellow. I don't know. We're going to, once we start adding color into all of this, we're definitely going to start getting a little bit more character and attitude into the landscape, which I think is going to just lift a lot of that build. And we'll get ourselves some trees and the water and a bit of movement and color. It's all going to add to making this feel much more alive. How are we going to reach this point over here? I think we're going to bring this out like this. And that's not terrible. Okay, like this, something like that. Let's take a step back, have a look. A pretty good gradual lift up there. Now we need to fill in this gap over here. Now obviously we've got that as a cliff face, so this is going to have to lead to a cliff face, but I also... Alright, so our waterfall's coming down there, so we're going to want to decide on a point where that's going to crash. And I think we'll have it so that it doesn't have a water stream heading down the mountain, but it's actually going to go through the mountain into like a cave that it's created a gap for. So let's just connect ourselves over into the cliff face over here. On this end here. And that will probably do it. Very flat edge, but we will fix that up. Come across here. Now I want to give this little bit of a nuts. Give this bit of a corner. Let's do it this way. This sort of area in here, we're gonna did it again. Okay. Let's take a fly out while we had to anyway and see how that's coming along. All right, that's looking really good actually. It's coming along nicely. So got a spot here and I kind of want to use this opportunity here. Oh, gonna have to light up down there. Oh dear, more torch spam to come. Last thing we need. It's creepers making for a bad day. Alright, so what we can do here is we can utilize this area here to maybe even bring in our own little custom-made geode. Which could be fun. We're going to need to, that's what I wanted to do, we're going to need to have a good little space for it to just sort of collapse in on itself almost. So and like I said, we can cut out an area for it later. The important part is to get our basic shape down, get the night slept away. Oh, it's not night enough. It's not night enough. I suppose I don't go to bed until it's completely dark, do it at home, so maybe it's not night enough. Yay. Oh, so it looks like Jess is sleeping through the night. Perfect. Going to definitely enjoy closing up this area here and eliminating any chance of me falling into the lava. Because I did almost do that earlier today. And that was less than fun. Having a minor panic attack because I got a bit too close. That's pretty cool. All right, we've got some really interesting shapes going on in there. And we can possibly put a little bit of a geode in there somewhere, maybe. Maybe we'll just do a burst of color. No particular rules that we have to follow. Like I said, organics. Organics are fantastic because we get to make the rules ourselves. But there's that creeper. He's spotted me, doesn't like me, wants to blow my face up. Not today, I hope. I'd rather not today anyway. Okay. Now, let's have a look here. We might make this... another little grow point for some building. A nice flat space. Doesn't have to be perfectly flat, of course. But a nice flat area where we can put in something interesting to look at. Back here, got the rest of the cliff. Hello. Find myself randomly holding my breath when I'm trying to jump and place blocks. Probably not the smartest. That doesn't look. Oh, I feel like that might have made it worse. Maybe with some creative placement of some moss blocks or even a bit of that action. And do you know what else is going to help a lot with some of these kinds of areas where it might feel a little awkward is the dripstone. Just a bit of dripstone in there. Definitely going to help out and give it a bit more depth on that part of the mountain. A bit more interest. Where's my scaffolding gone? There we go. All right, let's build up. Let's build up. Build up this. So what I kind of want to do is I kind of want to have... Where is it? I kind of want to have this gradually leading up here. So sort of the steep mountain staircase going on here. Yeah. And then later on, this is going to be one of those points where we can put a staircase up the mountain. So this is going to be a little tighter here. But we've got a bit of a wrapping staircase going on there, and it gives us another dimension that we can work with on this build platform up here, which I think that's going to be pretty cool. This point up here is another cliff face. We've got a lot of cliff faces going on, but that was kind of the intention with this side, where we had sort of these big flat spaces, and then the whole area along here is all cliff face. So it's almost like this part of the mountain gets a little bit more weather, it gets torn down a little bit more, and it's just having a little bit more exposure is giving it faster wear and tear than the rest of the mountain, which is going to slope a lot more gradually. You can sort of see out there, there's another one of the frameworks there that's just it's a much more gradual slope up, whereas this one here is really severe. This one's got a lot of severity in it. We're going to have the water running down, which would contribute to that eroding, and that's a part of what we want to think about when we're putting up organics is how like if it's a tree, where's the wind coming from? Is there a wind blown side of the tree that is going to have been affected more and have less leaves on it? Or is where does the water run down on the mountain? Where do things like that happen? That's a big play. It's a big part. The environment plays a big part in exactly how terrain comes together. So yeah, got to put a little bit of imagination into what you're doing and consider where the wind is, where the water is, where the skeleton that's firing at me is. Where? There he is. Right, I'm definitely going to need to get under there and do a bit of the old lighting up, because that's no fun. That's no fun at all. I don't need the grief. Oh, hey. He's not playing fair. He's not playing fair at all. I just want to build a mountain. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay, we're doing this. Hey, no. Where's that creeper? I hope it despawned. Let's have a look. Creeper. Creeper. Hello, creeper. Still hanging around here? I think it's gone. Definitely got to do some lighting up down here. All right, let's take a fly out and have a quick look again. See what's going on. Okay, all right. So let's have a think about what's going on over here. So over here, maybe what we can do is, because we've got a bit of a cliff face happening that I didn't necessarily want, but with the building platforms, we can possibly consider leaning into the cliff face a little bit, and we'll use the cliff face and end up building maybe a house into the side of the cliff. Or, oh, I did it again. All right, time to close those gaps up. Oh, and there's the creeper. He found me. Woo! Not today, creeper. All right, so we're gonna lean into that cliff face and utilize it for some building. Now, the question is, do we want it at that height? Do we want it at this height? Do we want it a bit higher? I think let's work on bringing this part of the mountain up a little. Yeah, like so. Not like so. Like so. And then no, and then if we have, let's give it some space. Actually, let's give it some space. So I actually have just a little bit of a drop down going on over here. This. Up a little again. And have a nap. Perfect. Now that's getting a little bit more full on than I want it to. Now, like I said, the plan is going to be we'll put some sort of a cliffside house in here. So this area will probably come back and manipulate quite a lot. That's definitely going to be an overhang. So that's not an issue there. But we're going to need to start moving upwards, and we're going to need to do it pretty severely, I think. Like this. Yeah. That's good. Like this. There we go. Now, filling in the gaps. The next part. Down there. That was not helpful to me at all. Go and perhaps like this. This. And down we go. And up we go. All right. It's funny how big that section looks when you're working on it and how small it looks when you fly away from it and go again. Okay, let's try and... Okay, this looks like a good little flat section here. That creeper is just hanging around, isn't he? Despawn for me, buddy. Don't need ya. Services are no longer required. Okay, so we've made a little sort of steps which could work to our advantage here. And then use, later on, we can use some dripstone to really fill out some of the details in here, which could be very cool. some character. Will do. Gap, that's gap. Don't want gap. Go. Yeah, that's good. Now that's obviously that little platform just hanging there like that doesn't look great. So we'll come in. All right, from this angle, I think let's do another framework to build off of, and we want to. Again, we want to go pretty severe because we want to bring it as a connecting point. That's good. As we're angling in, this is going to become very interesting to make it look and feel relatively natural, but we'll give it a go. Give it a go, and if we don't like it, we'll get some TNT and quit. No, we probably won't get TNT and quit, but we can definitely tweak it a little bit with kick, bring it in and make it a bit more shaped. No, I'm really just asking for trouble here, aren't I? I need to get under there and I need to light it up. This is, it's getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous. That's fine. Ridiculous is fine. Right, this is this, and bring that out there. And I think, okay, got an idea here. Let's actually get up closer to the top here and bring this stuff in. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm pretty sure that it's not too hard to work out exactly what I've got going on here. I am creating a cave entrance of sorts, which might not actually end up being a cave entrance. It might end up being a house entrance. And we've got, I think we're going to have a pretty decent diagonal to work on. So we can do an interesting little diagonal build, which I'm not overly confident with, but you cannot do unless you try. So time for me to learn diagonal building, I guess. All right, let's bring this out here. And to really hammer home the fact that I want to put a building in here, I'm going to make a really severe sort of definite edge. Everything is. Of course, I'm just creating another dark box that will be spawning all the things, but I guess if I'm aware of my mistakes, then I'll have the potential to fix them. Or we can at least pretend that if I'm aware of my mistakes, I'll have the potential to fix them. There we go. Am I any good at PvP? I am not great at PvP. Doc and I say hi. Hi, Mel. Hi, Mel. I said hi, Mel, but Arrington says hi, Mel. Hi, Doc and Arrington. Is it that time of the week already? You two having a hangout? Let's check it out. Am I any good at PvP? To be honest, I haven't had a lot of experience trying my hand at PvP, but I really should get Hypixel happening and at least give it a shot. So I can't say that I'm any good at PvP because I haven't really tried, but I can't say I'm bad at it either because I haven't tried. So we're missing the fundamentals of whether I'm any good at PvP or not. Depends on experience, and 0 experience means I can't really answer the question. So perhaps I will have to hit up some friends of mine that I know that do enjoy the odd game of Bed Wars and see if they'll tolerate me bringing their team down. Give it a go. See how we go. See if I'm capable. Alright, let's take a step back. How's the mountain coming? Mountain coming is good. As you can see, we're hang on, let's just do a bit of a fly out and have a look back. We're filling in this area, and you can see where we've got a couple of interest points, bit of a cave, which will probably, as I was saying a bit earlier, I'm probably going to pop some form of a house build into the mountain, into that cave, and then we might put a bit of a geode poking out here. And so yeah, we're just sort of slowly building up those, slowly building up the platforms, the build platforms. So we've sort of got one build platform over here, there's one up there, there's one down here, and there's one up there at this point. So yeah, we're just, it's coming along. It's definitely coming along. We have things to do and things to finish, and I'm fairly confident that it's actually going to look all right. But the problem right now is under there is not safe. It's not safe at all. Ah! I failed to do any preparation lighting, so now I'm having to do unprepared dodging of projectiles, which it has its place, I guess, but it's not fun. The last man standing server for YouTubers and streamers interested. Oh, yeah, I could give it a go. I could give it a go. Are we talking like a moment, not moment. Are we talking a time of peace, or is it just like UHC style? You get 10 minutes in there, or 20 minutes, or whatever it is, and then we all out war. Okay, now this needs to. Oh, I'm almost through my full inventory of stone, which is feels very quick today. Feels like it's been a very quick get through of the stone, which I'm not complaining about because I can feel like it takes a while. I really want to get this section done. This is, might actually need to soften up. Okay, so let's take another fly out, but up this time. And what you can see I've done up here, let's see if I can stick the landing. Did it. What you can see I've done up here with the framework, I've actually sort of I put a peak here and then a peak up sort of here, and that area is dedicated to actually a bit of a drop back down. So this particular space, it doesn't matter if the if the mountain face is a bit more severe, just as long as we have those interesting points that we can build various things on. And my goodness, there's still a lot to go. A lot more to go than I thought there was going to be. But what we might do is we might find the connecting points a bit higher. We might even manipulate this a little bit to be just a little bit more gradual. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. And 15 minutes of no PVB. Yeah, that's pretty, I think that's pretty standard UHC. Is it about, maybe it's like 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, but yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Hit me up and we'll see how I go. See how I go on my schedule. The schedule mostly being that right now I have a bit of time because of lockdowns, but I don't know how long that's gonna be maintained for. So hopefully I can do a bit of something. Right, let's. Okay, let's do this bit here. So we want a building platform. Got sort of starts a little bit here, but we want a proper building platform that's more than 3 blocks wide. So let's build up here. Up. Hello? I did not want to place that block. Did this and then a bit of this sort of thing. Down. This one down here. Okay, that's looking okay so far. Which is not to say that it's going to keep looking okay, but we hope it does. That'll do. Get out here a bit. It's interesting. Got some interesting edges going on here. It might be, we're going to have a really good look at this after we're done and make sure that it doesn't feel too forced because of what I've done here with the framework. Yeah, perfect, Isa. I'll get onto that once I'm done here and can go from there. All right, let's jump back down here. Oh, that was not supposed to go there. Now, I'm out of stone. Time to go get some more stone. See just what the danger damage is down here. Oof. Oof. That's nasty. It's a lot of dark. Oh, okay. Definitely going to have to come back here with plenty of things. Might, in fact, just grab my defenses. Alright, this is looking alright. This build up is looking alright. Excellent, excellent. Alright, now. How do we want to keep going here? Do we want... I don't think we want a full cliff going up in here, but maybe what we can do is start doing a bit less of the platform style leader and have a bit more 1 and 2 blocks at a time. This way doesn't feel, it still feels like a cliff because it is a cliff, but it feels a little bit, well, maybe not quite as steep, because instead of being overhang or like these big chunks of like 6-7 blocks, we've got like these 1 or 2 blocks at a time here. So that will definitely help. So if we bring this out like this, be there. Now we will still need to have some overhang because of the way that I apparently decided to do this, which is possibly not, and say possibly, read possibly as definitely not the smartest way of having done things, but that's okay too. Nobody's perfect, and I am definitely a nobody. So build it up here. Bit of this, bit of that. Slowly, so it builds the mountain. That there. That there. And if I keep doing this and talking while I'm doing it, I might actually seem like I know what I'm doing, and I can keep living in my little world of make-believe where it looks like I actually have a plan. But I mean, the sad reality is that there is no plan. There is no plan. We are just winging it. Winging it. Okay. Let's bring this across here. Up and okay. Oh no. Unintentional. Fall from grace. There we go. And we're back. Good, good. Okay. Go to ourselves a little bit of a cubit climb here, I guess. And if you got that reference, you may be, I hate to tell you, you may be old. Although I think that kind of made a bit of a return with some apps. Maybe I feel like perhaps I might have downloaded something along those lines. Yeah, that'll do. That there. I don't think I want that there actually. I think I want, yeah, like that. It's sort of coming together because what we've managed to achieve up here is a connection to our top point with you didn't see that happen, with the ability to actually walk all the way up the top. So that's kind of, that was a bit of the aim. And I saw a gap. Where's the gap? That was the gap. All right, so it takes a little bit of creative jumping, but we can get up here from the ground without having to pillar at all. There is something, there is something like a staircase. That's horrible. Better. Better. Okay, let's step back a little bit, have a look at that part of the cliff and where we're at, and yes, 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 yes. Go to my favorite viewing platform. Oh, that's definitely starting to fill in nicely. Once we get some color into that, that's going to really stand out. And we can sort of see the shape that I was talking about, where like we'll have the water coming down over here, and that's sort of torn away from the landscape a bit, and we've got that little cave in there, and possibly a little something in there. We might even have a little something in there, but we've got to still build out some building platforms up there, and it's all coming, it's coming along, and it's kind of hard to tell the depth too well with the so much gray, which is why we're going to have to incorporate a whole lot of color in here when we start to decorate it, because without the color it's all just a little bit of shadow and incredibly lost in grayscale, which is not great. But there's plenty of plan for color. Plenty of plans for color. Now, what's the next part of the plan? What's the next part of the plan? The next part of the plan is a kind of a tricky one because I need to decide. I think we might go back up there actually. We might even build up to there from here. And do our little building trick here to give ourselves another internal framework to work with. Before we fill in the lines too much. Now that's starting to get very, very steep in there. So we might need to have this part come out like here. Like this. And I did say that Minecraft didn't give us caves and cliffs, so it wouldn't exactly be too much of an issue if I made this into a cave, would it? Because then I'd be fulfilling that part of it as well. Didn't get caves, didn't get cliffs. Make my own cave and my own cliff. Or mountain. Well, you know. But we did get a lot of beautiful new blocks to play with, didn't we? I'm going to fill this in. Okay. Going to have to get lighting up here too before the next time I come up here because otherwise I'm probably going to wind up blown up. And I don't need a hole in the side of the mountain. Okay. We'll do the inside of our little frame here. Nice, easy space to work with. Bring this around here. We know that that leads up there. That's great. It's deeper. Good. Yeah, where we at? Where we at? Trying to work out the best way to place blocks here it's proving a little tricky. Not gonna sugarcoat it. I didn't give myself the best framework to play with. And I can literally only blame myself because I put the framework down. Oh. Alright, up we go, up we go. Where's the hole? Where's the gaps? Where's the gaps? There's the gaps. So we come out here. That was probably completely pointless. So yeah, that's not too bad. It actually worked out okay. Oh, caps. It's a very intense good night right there. So what have we got here? Right, this looks like I had a plan. And I don't think the plan was to fall. So this space looks like I had a plan, right? And it looks like my plan was to, let's say, have a platform here. And then I know the waterfall was coming down there. We might actually push the waterfall up further and have it more central and give it a little bit more of a feature point on the mountain. But of course, starting that high, the waterfall's not going to have that much falling water because of water springs. Water springs. And yes, I know I can make it up as I go. That's the whole point in a creative game like Minecraft. But I like to have at least thought about those little elements of realism. And a water spring's not just going to become a crashing massive waterfall. So we won't do too severe of a waterfall to start with. There. Fill this in. This and can be back. That can be like that. Okay. All right. Well, a lot to fill in. Let's consider. Let's consider the waterfall. All right. Now, if we bring the waterfall, let's say that flat area there is going to have a little bit of a trickle of water come down, then we can have the waterfall from there. So let's just sort of bridge our way out there a little bit, and that's going to give us a nice halfway point to work with. It's pretty close. Now, this is going to be a really steep sort of space going on because don't want the waterfall to have too much resistance on its way down. So okay, so if we call this waterfall. Let's just bring these down in some straight columns, and even though that's going to look kind of horrible from a distance, it will also give us a really good idea just where the water's going to come crashing down. Now I have some interesting plans for that, the water and the way that it's going to fall down. So it's not such an issue if we have a little bit of steps going on, because we can potentially have the water cascade down there and then off that onto something else. And because it's not often that waterfalls just come all the way down, we usually see some rocks jutting out and doing their thing to interrupt the way the water is coming down. So we're going to incorporate that as well. For right now, with just a basic framework in mind, kind of want to get underneath that water area, that water falling area. Right. Bring this out here. Doing a lot of placing blocks where I didn't want to at the moment. That's I could probably should just lean into it actually, instead of trying to fix happy little accidents, but we do this whole space in here. A little bit more severe? Do we do it a bit more severe? That's the question here. Let's have a look from back here. Make our decision based on the look back here. It's tricky. It is tricky. I want to climb back up here to this build platform. And maybe we need a bit more build space up here, hey? That probably wouldn't go astray. To do a bit of this. Apologize if you can hear my dogs going in and out of their dog door in the background. They are very noisy. And I've got one that oh. Well, you know what? I'm going to take that as a suggestion that I should probably finish up. We've been on for an hour and 12 minutes. Thanks so much for joining, everybody. And I will catch you all next time. See you later.